Mindwings Audio presents Satan's School for Scandal, written by Jack Bates, read by Bruce Risen. I have reason to believe my husband is trying to kill me, Mr. Landers. I nodded. It was a familiar opening. Why is that? I asked. Victoria Buckingham carefully reached in her handbag and pulled out a 6-inch doll made out of corn husks. Black bands were wrapped around a bulb at the top and then again around the midsection. A long skirt of dried husk leaves extended below the lower band. Corn silk was braided for arms that hung off the sides. Taped to the knob-like head was a digital image of Victoria Buckingham's face. Even at 52, Victoria had a youthful glow that photographed very well. The small puckered hole in the middle of her forehead in the picture didn't distract from her beauty. Victoria Lockhart Buckingham was a layer above the upper crust of residents of Macomb County. She was a seated member of every auxiliary board the county had. Adding to her elite stature was a husband who was heir to old-school automotive money, and who had managed to hang on to this cash stash even after the car companies began to tank in the dark days of the '08 bailouts. Wallace Buckingham parlayed his economic prowess and Union street smarts to grab a vacancy for state representative. He poured millions into a term-limited position, but would be guaranteed medical bennies and a pension for life for having won the legislature's seat in Lansing. From there, he could move to the Senate and perhaps beyond. Not to be outdone by her prince of auto parts, Victoria stepped up her game and used some of the same inheritance her husband had received to run for and win the office of county clerk. Not quite happy with the local position, Victoria had announced that come fall she would be seeking Secretary of State, and would challenge longtime incumbent Wu Jiawei, Michigan's first high-level Chinese-American politician. Victoria had set her sights on the office not because Ms. Wei was doing a poor job, but simply because no one else from her party was running for it. She felt it made the party look weak overall, and in a few years could cost the old guy running for president the state. I had my own suspicions as to why Victoria Buckingham was running against a successful Asian, but at that moment she was there as a prospective client. Personal prejudices would have to be set aside on both our parts. I held my palm open beneath her hand where she clutched the corn-husk doll between her thumb and finger, leery of touching it. She let it drop into my palm. She reached back into her handbag and produced a bottle of hand sanitizer that she quickly poured into her palms and spread across her hands by wringing them together. "I found that in his study," she said. She shook her hands to dry them the way she might have to dry freshly painted fingernails. "I went in there to use his computer to check my email. My laptop was in the car and the study was right there, so I went in and I saw his printer was out of paper, and I needed to print directions to a function I needed to attend that evening. I opened a drawer I thought he used to store his paper and found an oblong mahogany box. It was the only thing in the large drawer, and I thought it was odd, so I removed the box, opened it, and found that inside it." "Did you ask him about it?" "He would know I had been in his study." "Is that off limits?" She gave me that kind of look that indicated I should stick to what was important. Her. "Certainly not." Victoria softened. "My husband is privy to sensitive material and information about the state, Mr. Landers. There are things that he can't share even with me. Then again, it is a little disconcerting that Sarah can go and come as she pleases." She broke her stare with me and looked out one of my office windows, clearly bitter about the situation. "And Sarah is?" "Sorry, she is our domestic. I thought hiring a house staff was a bit pretentious for Macomb, so Sarah was a compromise." "Wallace wanted house servants?" "That whole wealth and power thing. But she's only there when Wallace is there. When he's gone, I pay her to stay away." She was done with the topic. "Did you notice anything about the box this was in?" "It looked like any one of a number of those handcrafted wooden boxes you can buy at gift shops up north. You know, like Seashell City or the Fort Store in Mackinac? Those are cedar and made in China. Did you notice anything special about the one in your husband's desk drawer? It was heavy, but I attributed that to the type of wood. The top lifts off. It wasn't on a hinge. There was no lock, no latch. We hope you enjoyed listening to this recording. Other Harry Landers audio stories available at Mindwings Audio include Mumbly Peg, Dan Tana Ain't Dead, 10 Minutes After Midnight, The Girl with the Dragon Wing Eyes, and A Model for Murder. Watch for new releases coming soon.